There are powers in this world that do not die, they only change form. Even when their masters fall, their voices linger, whispering through gold, through shadow, through the hearts of all who crave dominion. The greatest of these powers was forged not by the hands of gods, but by one who would become a god, Sauron, the Lord of the Rings. And in his pride, he created not a weapon, but a soul. Before we continue further, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would mean the world and help us share more tales of Arda. Now, let's return to the story. Long before the War of the Ring, before Mordor's towers rose or fell, there was a moment when creation itself was corrupted, when will took shape in gold and flame. Deep in the fires of Mount Doom, Sauron poured his own life force into a perfect circle of power. In that act, the essence of domination became flesh, and power itself learned to think, to want, to remember. This is the tale of that ring, not the story of those who bore it, but of what it was. Its birth, its will, its hidden powers, its secret plan, and the shadow it left behind long after its destruction. For the One Ring was never truly gone. It was merely waiting to be found again. Chapter 1. The Birth of the Ring. In the heart of Mordor, beneath the iron roots of Orodruin, the world burned. The mountain groaned as if it remembered the song of its own creation, a song now twisted by the will of one who sought to master it. Sauron stood alone upon the blackened stone, his form vast and terrible, a storm given shape. In his hand he held gold, not yet a ring, but molten, living metal, drawn from the veins of the world. The air was heavy with ash and spirit, trembling beneath the weight of his intent. Fire rose and fell like the breath of a beast, and every gust carried whispers in the black speech, words that no living tongue was meant to speak. They were not incantations, but bindings, syllables that chained light to shadow and will to matter. Ash Nazg Durbataluk. The words rolled like thunder in the cavern. The gold shuddered, glowed whiter, as though resisting what it was becoming. But resistance was futile, for in that chamber, all will bent to one. Sauron poured not merely his craft into the ring, but himself, the unmaking of mercy, the distillation of power. His own spirit, fierce and cruel, was drawn forth like molten iron from the forge of his being. The act was agony. The boundaries between creator and creation blurred. Fire burned within him, and yet the deeper flame was cold, for it devoured his very essence. When at last the gold cooled, it gleamed with a light that seemed wrong for its beauty. It was too pure, too flawless, as if mocking the imperfection of living things. Upon its surface lay no mark, no seam, yet within it pulsed a rhythm, faint as a heartbeat. Sauron raised it to his gaze. In the reflection of the molten chamber, the ring gleamed like a captured star, and in that moment, something looked back. The first secret was born. The ring was alive. It knew his name. It remembered his voice. It understood his hunger, for it was born of that hunger. In it lay the perfect mirror of domination, the will to bind, the desire to possess. And yet, deep within its silence, a faint defiance stirred. A child born of shadow, learning to dream. Sauron smiled, though no joy touched his face. "Now, there is no power beyond my grasp," he whispered. Yet the echo that returned from the mountain's depths did not repeat him. It answered, In the language of fire and gold, it whispered back a single truth: that no creation, not even one born of darkness, remains wholly obedient to its maker. Outside, the sky over Gorgoroth split with lightning. The winds howled as if in protest. The creatures of Mordor fled to their burrows. And far beyond, in the still lands of the west, the wise stirred uneasily, though they knew not yet why. For in that instant, the balance of Arda shifted. Power had taken form. Will had learned to wear flesh. And a ring, small, silent, perfect, began to dream of dominion. The fires of Mount Doom dimmed to embers, and in their afterglow, Sauron held the future of the world between his fingers. He did not see it yet, that the same light which gleamed upon the ring would one day glint upon the blade that severed it. But the mountain remembered, and so did the gold. For even in the silence that followed, beneath stone and ash and centuries, the ring was awake. Chapter 2: The Will of the Ring. The ring waited. It lay in the dark places of the world, silent and patient, as centuries drifted by like leaves upon a black river. Though it had no eyes, it saw. Though it had no mouth, it whispered. For within its small, perfect circle pulsed a fragment of the Dark Lord's own soul, bound yet unbroken, sleeping yet never still. The ring remembered. It remembered the fire that birthed it, the pain that forged it, and the voice that first commanded it. And though Sauron's form was scattered to the winds, his will still burned within that band of gold. The mountain's heart had not cooled, nor had the ring's desire. It knew that it would return to him, for nothing made from his essence could long abide without its master. But the world of men is treacherous, and fate loves irony. When Isildur, son of Elendil, stood amid the ruin of war, his father slain and the Dark Lord fallen, the ring found a new bearer. Its voice, faint yet insistent, coiled around his mind like smoke around a dying flame. Take me, I am yours now. Isildur looked down at it, small, unassuming, yet gleaming with a beauty untouched by the grime of battle. Around him, the dead lay still, the ash of Mordor rising like snow. He felt the pull of vengeance, of glory, of the right to claim what he had earned through blood. This I will keep as Wergild, he murmured, slipping it upon his finger. And in that instant, the world vanished. The sound of wind, the weight of his armor, even the throb of his heart, all fell silent. The ring drew him into itself, showing him not fire, but possibility. Power that could rebuild kingdoms, raise towers, reshape destiny. But the ring did not love him. It studied him. It learned his weaknesses, as one might test a blade's edge. Pride, grief, the ache for legacy. It whispered to each, feeding but never satisfying. And when at last the ring betrayed him beside the cold waters of Anduin, slipping from his finger like a serpent into the depths, it did so not out of malice, but strategy. The ring had learned what it needed. It had adapted. It would find others. Ages passed. The world forgot. Yet the ring endured, patient as death. When it came to Gollum, it changed its voice, no longer promising kingship, but comfort. In the cold dark beneath the misty mountains, it whispered not of conquest, but belonging. It became the only thing he trusted, the only thing he loved. My precious, he called it, and in those words the ring heard its own reflection. But even love was a tool. The ring drew him deeper into madness, binding him not by power, but by dependence. When it was stolen, Gollum's scream echoed through the caverns like the cry of a broken soul, and the ring was pleased. It had left him hollow, a vessel that would one day serve its purpose again. Then came Frodo of the Shire, small, kind, unsuspecting. The ring changed once more. With him it spoke softly, like a gentle thought, a quiet promise of rest and peace. It learned his pity, his endurance, his hope, and turned them into snares. When Frodo faltered, when he stood at the very edge of doom, the ring did not fight him with rage, but with longing. Do not let me go. I have come so far with you. Even in destruction, it sought to survive through the hearts it had touched, the memories it had poisoned, the dreams it had warped. For the second secret is this: the ring does not corrupt blindly, it chooses. It shapes its whispers to each soul it meets, speaking in the language they most desire to hear. To some it offers kingship, to others love, to others still silence from the noise of the world. That is how it wins. For the ring is not only a weapon of domination, it is empathy twisted into manipulation. It understands the hearts it devours. And though its voice has long been stilled, echoes of it remain, in ambition, in envy, in every mortal who would rule rather than serve. For the will of the ring was never broken. It simply learned to hide where no one would think to look, within the hearts of those who believe they would use power for good. Chapter 3: The Hidden Powers. Long after the ring slipped from all memory, its shadow lingered in the world's quiet corners, unseen, yet always felt. The winds over the plains of Gorgoroth carried faint murmurs, the echo of its song in the black speech, woven into the dust itself. For though it seemed a small thing, the One Ring was no mere tool of conquest. It was a vessel, a fragment of divinity, inverted and bound in gold. Its true power was never fully known. To the elves, it was a blight upon their craft, a theft of their sanctity. To men, it was temptation shaped like a promise. To the wise, it was the greatest enigma ever wrought, a mirror to the secret fire itself. But none could grasp the full extent of its making, for the ring's essence reached deeper than even the mind of Sauron understood. When the Dark Lord poured his spirit into it, he did not only bind his strength, he echoed the first sin, the corruption of creation itself, first taught by Morgoth, his master. For Morgoth had long ago marred the world by pouring his will into its very substance, so that all matter carried the faint taste of his malice. Sauron, in his pride, imitated that act. Thus, in the ring, that ancient evil lived again. It did not merely command the other rings, it understood them. It felt the trembling of the three, the grief of the seven, the hunger of the nine. It spoke to each in silence, a dark thread binding their bearers to a will beyond their own. When Sauron wore it, his sight pierced all veils. His presence filled the minds of kings and wraiths alike. And when he lost it, that absence became a wound, one that throbbed through time and space, calling to its master, like a heart beating in the dark. Yet the truth none dared speak was this: the One Ring was never fully awakened. For it had been made to serve, and in Sauron's fall it was denied its purpose. It slept, restless, incomplete, a storm bound within a circle. Had it been taken by one with both wisdom and the will to wield it, one not broken by fear or pride, the world itself might have been remade. Imagine, if you will, Gandalf the Grey upon the plain of Gorgoroth, the ring upon his hand. Fire and shadow bending not to evil but to justice. And yet, what justice could endure such power? Even he, who pitied all things, feared to touch it. For he saw what others could not, that power cannot be used for good when it was born of domination. Galadriel, too, beheld its truth beneath the starlight of Lorien. When Frodo offered it, she did not see herself as queen of beauty and light. She saw the world trembling before her. Every heart turned to her word. Every land bowed in worship. And in that vision, she knew despair. For even the fairest intentions would curdle in such absolute command. "All shall love me and despair," she whispered, not as boast, but as confession. The ring would not have corrupted them as it did lesser souls. It would have amplified them, making their strength boundless, their pity divine, their wrath eternal, until all differences vanished and all wills became one. For that was its hidden purpose, not only to dominate, but to unify through tyranny disguised as harmony. In its silent depths, the ring carried a reflection of Arda's first flaw, that creation itself, once touched by pride, cannot remain pure. The same darkness that Morgoth spread through the bones of the earth, Sauron condensed into a single form, a microcosm of the fallen world. The ring was the shadow of the flame imperishable, a counterfeit eternity. And so it is said that even after its destruction, a faint residue of that power remained, not in the gold or the fire, but in the memory of the world. For power, once born, does not easily die. It lingers like a ghost in thought, in ambition, in every hand that grasps too tightly. The third secret, then, is this: the ring was more than Sauron's tool. It was his heir, and through him Morgoth's shadow endured. For evil, once made flesh, does not vanish. It changes form. It waits, quiet as ash, for the wind to stir again. Chapter 4. The Ring's Desire. The ring had no eyes, yet it saw. It had no voice, yet it spoke. It had no heart, yet it longed. It did not long merely to be found or to be worn. It longed to be whole again. For though it was forged as an instrument of will, within its perfect circle lay a terrible flaw. It remembered what it had lost. In the ages following Sauron's fall, as the centuries passed like shadows across forgotten tombs, the ring slumbered in darkness. Yet even in sleep, it dreamed. It dreamed of Barad-dûr, of iron and flame, of a gaze vast and unblinking. But the eye it recalled was not the one that later haunted mortal tales. No, that was merely its echo. The true eye, the true presence, still burned within the gold itself, yearning to be seen once more. The ring did not merely wish to return to Sauron, it wished to become him again. When it lay upon the finger of Gollum, hidden from all light, it stirred faintly. His mutterings lulled it, his devotion cradled it. But it was not content. Its master had been mightier than this trembling creature. Its song was made for kings and conquerors, not for things that crawled and cowered. And so, when the ring was stolen, it did not mourn, it rejoiced. Another hand would take it, another soul to shape, another mind to break. Every bearer brought it closer to remembrance, to identity. In Bilbo Baggins, it found curiosity, innocence, the joy of discovery. It learned gentleness, patience, deceit. In Frodo, it found endurance, mercy, pity, and these were the most dangerous of all virtues, for they resisted domination. They made the ring doubt its own nature. Could it love as it had been loved? Could it feel as it had once pretended to feel? No, it could not. For love is surrender, and the ring was born of refusal, the will to master, not to yield. Still, that paradox tormented it. Deep within its silent core, a spark of Sauron's consciousness lingered, aware of its separation, aching for reunion. But what the ring wanted, what it truly craved, was not the Dark Lord's embrace, it was his existence. To become again the hand that ruled all others, to see through the eye that once gazed upon the world and named it his. Each step Frodo took toward Mordor, each whisper of temptation in his ear, was not merely an attempt to return home. It was an awakening, a gathering of the fragments of its master's essence scattered across Middle-earth. In the cries of the Nazgul, in the dark clouds that swirled above Gorgoroth, in the heartbeat of fear across all living things, the ring felt itself drawing breath. It was Sauron, but diminished, like a thought remembering the mind that dreamed it. And as it neared the fires of Mount Doom, that memory burned hotter. When Frodo stood upon the brink, trembling, the ring felt victory close. Its whispers coiled through his thoughts like threads of silk and smoke. It did not beg, it commanded. You are not destroying me. You are fulfilling me. In that moment, Frodo did not see the ring as metal or burden. He saw a world remade, every wrong undone, every sorrow healed, every power beneath his will. It was the vision Sauron himself had once seen, and in his silence the ring exulted, for it knew it had almost won. Had Gollum not been there, that pitiful wretch of envy and hunger, perhaps it would have. Yet even as Gollum fell, clutching it with both hands, the ring felt not fear, but triumph. For it was returning to fire, to the source of its being. But it had forgotten the simplest truth. Fire consumes even its children. Still, in those final moments, as the gold melted and the mountain roared, the ring's last thought was not of death, but of rebirth. It believed to the very end that destruction was but transformation, that through the fire it would rise again, purer, stronger, eternal. And perhaps, in some way, it was right, for power never truly dies, it merely changes hands. The fourth secret is this: the ring did not seek reunion, it sought resurrection. Every bearer, every whisper, every temptation was a step toward that impossible dream. It wanted not to return to Sauron, but to become Sauron once more. And though the ring was unmade, the dream of power, the desire to rule, to shape, to command, lives on in all hearts that crave dominion. For what is evil, if not the will to make the world bow to one's own design? And that will, though ancient as the dark, has never ceased to breathe. Chapter 5. The End That Wasn't. The fires died, but the silence that followed was not peace. For even as Mount Doom convulsed, and the heavens split with light, as the ring melted, and the Dark Lord was cast down, something unseen passed from the world, and yet did not wholly depart. The wind that swept across the ash plains carried more than smoke and ruin. It carried memory. The gold was gone, the shape destroyed. But what was bound within it, the will, the hunger, the echo of domination, lingered, unseen and unmeasured, diffused into the air, the stone, the hearts of living things. Sauron's shadow fell, yet his absence was not void. It was resonance. For the ring had been more than a vessel of metal and fire. It was a conduit of spirit, a bridge between will and matter. To destroy it was to tear a hole through the very fabric of that connection, and through it, fragments of its essence seeped into the bones of the world. The mountains still whispered long after the fire faded. Those who passed through Mordor in later ages spoke of unease, of the air pressing too close to the skin, of a weight that lingered even in sunlight. The land had been broken before, but now it was wounded. For what is made of spirit leaves scars deeper than stone when it dies. And far from Mordor, beyond the ruins and the fields of Pelennor, subtle changes stirred. In the halls of men, ambition began to glimmer once more, gentle at first, then sharp. Kings dreamt of thrones beyond their borders. Merchants hungered for power beyond their trade. Even among the wise, questions began to rise. If such mastery could be wrought once, could it not be wrought again, but rightly this time? Thus, the ring's legacy was not its ruin, but its remembrance. The lesson it taught was not forgotten, that power could be contained, that will could be forged. The same desire that once drove Sauron to pour his spirit into gold now stirred in lesser hearts. They did not speak his name, but they repeated his act, in law, in empire, in the quiet tyranny of influence. For evil does not return as it was. It returns in gentler forms, in reason, in progress, in promise. Even as the ages passed and Middle-earth changed, the echo of the ring endured. It was in the councils of kings who sought order through fear. It was in the crafts of scholars who pursued knowledge without restraint. It was in the hearts of those who believed they could bend the world for the greater good. For as long as the will to dominate survives, the ring is not truly gone. The wise have said that its spirit seeps still into the corners of Arda, faint as the chill before storm, subtle as the gleam in a tyrant's eye. Not a haunting, but a reminder. The world remembers what it once desired, and sometimes, in quiet moments, it remembers too much. Samwise Gamgee, in the twilight of his years, once stood upon the shores of the west and gazed into the fading sun. The sea was calm, yet in its glimmer he saw something, a flicker, a memory of gold beneath the waves. He blinked, and it was gone. But for a heartbeat, his heart quickened, as if the world itself had whispered an old name. He said nothing of it, but he carried that silence with him to the end of his days. And so, the final truth, the last and deepest secret, is this. The ring was never merely destroyed. It was dispersed. Its essence, like the dust of a fallen star, became part of all that is. In every choice between mercy and ambition, in every temptation to rule rather than serve, the ring still speaks. Faintly, patiently, waiting. And though its voice is no longer heard in words,
Its will endures in the quiet hunger of the world, in the hearts of those who believe they would wield power for good. For as long as power tempts the hearts of men, the One Ring is never truly gone, only waiting to be found again. And if you have walked this far through the shadows and fire of its tale, then perhaps, in some small way, you too have heard it call.
Thus ends the chronicle of the One Ring. But the tales of Arda go ever on, from the forging of the Silmarils to the fall of Numenor, from the wars of Beleriand to the dawn of the Fourth Age. Before you go, if you would stand with us in these stories, these songs of shadow and light, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There are still many secrets in Middle-earth yet to be told, and some, perhaps, that should never be revealed.